The Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers defines teacher quality in the Philippines. The standards describe the expectations of teachers' increasing level of knowledge, practice, and professional engagement.
At the same time, the standards allow for teachers' growing understanding applied with increasing sophistication across a broader and more complex range of teaching learning situations.
Good day mga ka-edo!
Let us rise and shine! My name is Fatima Mira Bakay.
And I am Jerwin Basuel Vibal Jr. from Pangasinan State University Infanta Campus, and we are going to present to you our Blog Type e-portfolio.
But before that, here are the other members of our group. Jeric M. Buktuanon
James M. Miano,
and Jeremy R. Mandiman.
the assigned task is to discuss how and why the 10 activities are related to the 7 domains of the Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers.
For Activity 1, entitled Introduction to Teaching Internship, is related to Domain 1. Content, knowledge, and pedagogy. As a future educator, we should recognize the importance of teachers' mastery of content knowledge and its interconnectedness within and across curriculum areas, coupled with a sound and critical understanding of the application of theories and principles of teaching and learning. The aims and purposes of Activity 1 are the following. First, visualize my expectations about teaching internship. Construct the meaning of familiar terms. Explain the different phases of teaching internship. Describe the existing laws and regulations applicable to the teaching profession and enumerate the core rules of etiquette. From the aims and purposes alone, we can say that they are related to the Domain 1 of PPST, the content, knowledge, and pedagogy. Here are the existing laws and regulations that apply to the teaching profession. First, Resolution Number 435, Code of Ethics and Professional Teachers, serves as a guide for teachers, specifically to new teachers, from them to exhibit proper behavior to the learning community at all times. Second, Republic Act 4670, Magna Carta for Public School Teachers, promote and improve the social and economic status of public school teachers' living and working condition.
Next is Republic Act 10627 or the Anti-Bullying Act of 2013. This aims to protect children enrolled in kindergarten, elementary, and secondary schools and learning centers from being bullied. It requires the schools to adopt policies to make address the existence of bullying in the respective institutions. Another one is 7877, Anti-Harassment Act of 1995. Protects the value and dignity of every individual, enhance the development of human resources, and guarantee full respect of human rights.
Death and Order 40 Series of 2012 Child Protection Policy. Protect children in school abuses, violence, exploitation, discrimination, and other forms of abuse. Next is Republic Act Number 10175 Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012. Intends to protect consumers who are dependent on cyber laws to safeguard them from online fraud or identity theft.
The second activity, entitled Getting Familiar with My Second Home, is related to the Domain Number 2 or the learning environment. Domain 2 highlights the role of teachers to provide learning environments that are safe, secure, fair, and supportive in order to promote learner responsibility and achievement. This activity highlights the need of the student teacher or teaching interns, the future educator, to be familiarized and to be informed about the different resources and facilities in the school. Therefore, Activity 2 is really fit to the learning environment. And the school facilities mostly visited are the following. First, the campus library. We believe that library is the heart of a school. It is the place wherein we acquire knowledge, ideas, and new discoveries. But during this pandemic, we can also use libraries as an online facility for our teachers to conduct online learning. Next is computer laboratory. In this new normal way of teaching, we believe that computer laboratory is one of the most useful and utilized facilities inside the school.
Activity 3 with the title Managing the In-Person or Remote Learning is related to Domain 3, Diversity of Learners. Domain 3 emphasizes the central role of teachers in establishing learning environments that are responsive to learner diversity, which are congruent to the aims of Activity 3 to create a learning environment that promotes fairness and make a classroom environment safe and conducive to learning. It is made sense by giving insights and conflict resolutions that may be implemented along the following issues and problems in the classroom. First is cheating. Remote classroom or learning is where student and the educator or the source of information are not physically in a traditional classroom setup. This occurs synchronously, which take place online. So it is possible for students to cheat when they have assignments, quiz, activities, examinations, and etc. As a future educator, before we start our class, we need first to remind and instill the class rules and etiquettes, for instance, the importance of honesty. Second is cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is bullying with the use of digital technologies. It can take place on social media, messaging platforms, gaming platforms, and mobile phones. Cyberbullying is rampant nowadays because almost all individual has its own gadget and accounts on them on the different social media platforms. To ensure safety and security of my students, the implementation of Child Protection Policy or the DepEd Order Number 40 Series 2012 are the policy guidelines on protecting children in school from abuse, violence, exploitation, discrimination, bullying, and other forms of abuse is a must.
The fourth activity is entitled Lesson Planning. By the title itself, we can conclude that it is fall under the curriculum and planning. This activity enables us to identify the correct format and identify the different parts of a lesson plan. We also compare and analyze the different lesson plans that was introduced to us, and lastly, we develop and create a clear and legible lesson plan. This activity highlights the importance of lesson planning, which is relevant to the profession we've choose, the teaching profession. This is consonant to the one domain of PPST, curriculum and planning.
For Activity 5, entitled Presenting Digital and Non-Digital Instructional Materials. This is also related to Domain 4, Curriculum Planning. One of the major key components that foster conducive and facilitating learning environment is the teacher's effective management of instructional materials in educative process. Thus, as a future educator, it is very relevant for us to create, use, and present instructional materials, either digital or non-digital. And now, we will differentiate the digital and non-digital instructional material. First is the digital. Digital are those that can be accessed by computers. Some of them are born digital or originated in a digital form. For example, pictures taken with a digital camera, web pages, Twitter feeds, etc. Others were converted into digital files. Non-digital are those instructional materials that are made by hand, not using a computer or other technologies such as internet. For example of digital instructional materials are Microsoft Office, and self-learning module through PDF. And for non-digital instructional materials are Cartolina and Big Books.
For Activity 6, entitled Evaluating the Outcomes of the Teaching and Learning Process, which is related to Domain 5 of the PPST Assessment and Reporting. This activity enables us to construct test items with corresponding table of specifications, collect and interpret evidences of any students using varied assessment tools, and conduct item analysis. And Domain 5 relates to process associated with variety of assessment tools and strategies used by teachers in monitoring, evaluation, documenting, and reporting learners' needs, progress, and achievements.
Activity 7, entitled Accomplishing Reports and Forms, is related to Domain 5, Assessment and Reporting. In this activity, we accomplish school forms 1 to 10. Every form was defined and described. It has also points to remember in doing so. As a future educator, it is an essential experience to accomplish different school forms as early as now or a preparation for the future.
Activity 8, entitled Embracing the World of Teaching Internship, is related to Domain 6, which is Community Linkages and Professional Engagement. This activity enables us to share our experiences during our peer teaching, a memorable experience. Yes, it is not easy to create a lesson plan and to deliver it, but this experience helps us to improve more and also to find our strengths and weaknesses. So far, the teaching internship class has been a fantastic experience. We appreciate the opportunity to learn more.
For Activity 9, entitled Participating in School and Community. From the title itself, it is belong to Domain 6, Community Linkages and Professional Engagement, wherein it concerns the importance of teachers understanding and fulfilling their obligations in upholding professional ethics, accountability, and transparency to promote professional and harmonious relationship with learners, parents, schools, and the wider community. It is congruent with Activity 9 because it enables us to participate in school and community activities that help us develop and improve our social responsibilities. It is important that as early as now, we have been exposed with this kind of activities. These activities help to enhance our social responsiveness and foster rapport and camaraderie. And here are the significant items and memorabilia from participating in school and community activities.
Activity 10, Presenting the Idea of Teaching through Demo Teaching. In this activity, we write a lesson plan and prepare instructional materials for our grand demonstration teaching. After we deliver our grand demo, our panel gave their comments and suggestions, wherein we believe that it is the best way in improving ourselves to perform well in the future. Therefore, we can tell that it is related to Domain 7, Personal Growth and Professional Development.
There have been so many challenges, so many celebrations, and so much that I have learned during this semester as a practice teacher. I was pushed out of my comfort zone, and as a result, I have greatly improved as a practice teacher. Despite all of the difficulties and obstacles, I have thoroughly enjoyed my student teaching experience throughout this semester. I had both low and high points, but I can clearly see how it has all shaped me as a teacher.
Practice teaching was an unforgettable experience. It allows me to learn more about my dream profession. It also affirmed my belief that teaching is a noble profession. It is not just a job, it is a career that has an ending impact on every student. Yes, it is hard, but there is no easy in life. And everything we do, we should always give our effort and best for the better outcome.
And that's the end of our Vlog Type E portfolio. Thank you for watching.
Maraming salamat po at pinanood nyo kami.
Agyaman kami, iti ingkay panang buya.
Balbalag ya salamat na binantayan nyo kami.